Hello, hello out there. Happy Saturday, April 27th. Hey, hey. I see y'all are already here chatting. That makes my heart smile. Hi, Linda. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Tina. So good to have you here hanging out with me on a Saturday afternoon. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late. You can probably hear me out of breath right now. But here I am. Here I am. Hey, hey. Let's see what y'all are talking about. Tina, it's cloudy there. It's cloudy here too. So, East Coast cloudiness, huh? I love it. Y'all are having a whole conversation. Y'all are having a whole conversation. I love that. So, hello and welcome. My name is Kyla Givehand. For those of you that are new to this space, welcome. If you are a tried and true, you've been here many, many times before. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. And thank you for returning time and time again. I am doing a month-long live stream series where I'm going live every single day. This is day 27. I can't even believe it. Cannot believe it. But it is. It's day 27, y'all. We have a couple more days to go before the month is out. But it's been a beautiful journey, I feel. I've had a tremendous amount of joy from doing this. And so that, to me, is pretty priceless and really, truly what everything should be about. Like, we should just do the things that bring us joy. So I keep showing up here every day. A tiny bit already getting sad that I'm not going to be doing this in May. I cannot sustain it for the month of May. I'm very, very sure of that. Got a lot going on in the month of May, headed into June when we go to Sacred Makers. I sure hope I know I'm going to see at least one of y'all that's in the chat at Sacred Makers. I wish I could see every single one of you there. In fact, reach out to me. We have, if you're interested in coming, we have actually one of our teachers has, the best way I can describe it is she's kind of providing a stipend for somebody who wants to attend. So reach out to me if that's you and you need a little bit of financial assistance on joining us for Sacred Makers June 2024. Okay, with that said, welcome to ABCs of Me. We have finished the letters. We've done A through Z. Is that not crazy pants? We've done A through Z. So today I'm going to spend a little bit of time going back through the questions. I have a bunch of questions. I've been keeping them on a Google Doc. And I actually have way more than I realized. So I'm going to answer some questions. Some of them are similar. And so I can just, blend questions together to try to answer things. But yeah, so I'm going to try to answer a few questions. And today we're going to continue our journey through the zodiac. We left off yesterday on Leo. And so today I'm going to bring that back and continue that conversation so that we can, so we can make our way through the full zodiac. Thank you, Stephanie. It feels pretty awesome to have done all of them at this point. So every day I've been, I need to put a little lotion on my hands, folks. I just washed my hands and they need a little something. So I'm going to put some of my salve that I made and rub that on the old hands and get them feeling soft and not so dry. So I lost my train of thought. I was talking about the zodiac. Oh. The other things we've been doing. So even though we're done with the alphabet for now, You will see this series pop in and out every month where I'll be dipping back into some of the topics that we covered in these series, and maybe even going a little bit deeper with some of them as we move forward. We'll see. But for now, the other things we've been doing is pulling cards every day. So I don't have a deck already picked out for today. Let's see what's hanging out on my desk, because there's always there's always a deck, at least one deck hanging out on my desk. Let's see. Hold on. I have my eye on one. I just got to grab it. Hold, please. Oh, this might be a good one. Oh, I think this one will be perfect for us as creatives and working with color. Oh, I love it. I hear some stuff about dance happening here. Nice. I don't know what's going on, but y'all have your whole old side conversations going on. I love it. So this Prisma Oracle is really good. It's by Nicole Pivaroto. I might be saying her name wrong, but let's just pop it in the screen so you can see it a little better. Maybe. Come on, blurriness. Get yourself together. Let's do it like that. There it is. Nicole Pivarotti. Prisma Oracle. And I love it because look at the box. How cool is that? Is that not the cutest thing? That's the cutest thing. So this Prisma Oracle is really lovely. Comes with a little guidebook. And no, you can't put your eye through there and see any sort of prismatic anything happening. But it's cool. On the back, it says, explore the connection between color, emotion, and intuition with these 45 cards of different hues. Each card features a unique energetic state mapped to a color associated with that energy. In the guidebook, you will discover how to interpret the cards as a message from your higher self, as well as how to infuse your surroundings with the card's energy through meditation and altar building. I love that. I love it. I love it. All right, so let's see what do we need. Oh, look at that. I like the edging. It's nice. I haven't used this deck very much. I used it a little bit, but not nearly enough. And of course, now I have oil on my hand, so that'll be fun. Be all kind of fingerprints on these glossy cards. All right, let's see. What do we need to bring our awareness to today? I'm feeling 3 cards want to come out. And maybe we play with the color palette that we get. Let's see. What do we need to bring our awareness to today? I'm sitting here wondering something. Did we get through Virgo yesterday, y'all? I think we made it through Virgo, right? Which would have gotten us halfway. I was trying to do halfway. Sorry, my mind just shifted to astrology in that moment. I just had this thought of like, I think we made it through Virgo yesterday. Can somebody confirm or deny that for me? Somebody who was here yesterday? Yes, we made it to Virgo. All right, that's what I thought. Thank you, Tina. All right, loves, let's do this. They're getting a little easier to shuffle as I do it. But they're pretty stiff cards, actually. All right, here we go. What do we need to bring our awareness to today? Ooh, it's got all my little fingerprints on it now. 1, 2, 3. I love the backs of the cards. They're gorgeous. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Deidre. Welcome, welcome. Glad y'all are here. All right, here's what we're bringing our awareness to today. Dun, dun, dun. Rejection. Let's talk about why that can be a good thing. Anger. We're getting some heavy ones today. And sweetness. Oh, I love it. We're going to do this as a past, present, future reading. I love it. All right, so we got what do we need to bring our awareness to? So now that I'm thinking past, present, future as an overlay for this reading, I'm going to go past rejections that led to current anger, how we can transform that into future sweetness. Rejection, anger, sweetness. So let's look at the colors first and foremost. Orange, red, and pink. So when I think about this, I'm like, all right, what would I have to add to orange to get to pink? What would I have to add to red to get to pink? All right, so we know, can we go from orange to pink? Somebody tell me that. Could we do that? What would that look like? And I'm going to find, I want to say this one is intended to be the white card, but I don't know. I feel like that's intended to be white, but it's more gray. Look, I shouldn't assume that it's intended to be anything other than what it is. But I don't see a white, purely white card in here. So we're going to call that white because that's what we would have to do. That's what we would have to add to get from red to pink. We would add white, and that's peace. But what would it take? Well, what would it take to go from orange to red? What would that require? While y'all are contemplating that, let's look at what she says. All right, so I don't know what kind of order they're in. Let's think about it. Oh, okay. Anger. I want to find rejection first, though. Let's find rejection first. There it is. All right, rejection is in the orange section. Deidre says these are so her cards for the day. All right, let's get my glasses because nobody can read these tiny little words. Rejection. Try to reframe the pain of rejection and consider that whatever rejected you wasn't meant to be part of your life at this time, whether it was a person, a job, or something else. Some even say that rejection is protection. So even though it may really hurt right now, know that something better is waiting for you. Trust that whatever is meant for you is on its way. Whoo-wee! I like it. And then let's go to anger. Anger is in the red. Oh, I'll come back to that. Okay. Anger. This card represents an acknowledgement that anger is a natural part of life. It's okay to feel angry, but what you can do with the immense amount of energy that comes with it. What can you do with the immense amount of energy that comes with it? How can you transform anger into something helpful for yourself and others? I like where she's going with this. All right, let's find sweetness. She has that in the pink section because it's pink. As we say in the South, that's pink. You got pink. Sweetness. This card is a signal to savor the sweet moments in life and to remember them when things get rough. The small things in life are often the sweetest, but they easily go unnoticed. Sweetness is always there if you look for it. I love it. All right, so she's also done a thing in this book where she gives you a little synopsis. So for the colors, so orange, orange is a sign. Orange cards in a reading are assigned to really tap into joy and playfulness during this period of your life. Orange is full of energy, which can be invigorating and also overstimulating. How are these energies emerging in your life right now? Are you feeling excited, or is the energy feeling a little too intense? If it's too intense, take a moment to release that energy with a sense of play. Now is the time to take a moment and celebrate all the joy that is apparent within your life in all the forms it takes. I like that. Red cards. The red cards in this deck signal an almost primordial energy, so fiery and strong that it cannot be ignored. When mostly red cards are drawn, it means you are being asked to pause and register these powerful feelings and ask how to best deal with this influx of energy. How can you make that energy work for you in a way that's both grounded and productive? How can you bask in its vibrancy without burning out? And then the pink cards in this deck. A common theme among the pink cards in this deck is tenderness and love, which are what you're working with if you draw mostly pink cards. Love and tenderness, either for yourself or another, are really all about approaching things with a sense of gentleness and sensitivity. How can you be more kind to yourself and others? How can you approach life with compassion and an open and soft heart? I love that. Hi, Angelisa. The deck that I'm using is called the Prisma Oracle, and I'll make sure y'all have a link for that. And these are our 3 cards that we got for what we need to bring our awareness to. And we've got rejection orange, anger red, and pink sweetness. And I was like past, present, future. So past rejections that have led to anger can actually be transformed through peace into sweetness. That's what I got. So I see some of y'all suggesting how I would go from orange to red. Add orange to get red orange. Tina says you would likely have to first make the orange more red, then add white. I like where y'all are going. All right. Well, I think that's actually a really good reading, actually, because we've all experienced some amount of rejection in our lives. I mean, I don't know that we make it to the age most of us are in this chat right now. And maybe to most of y'all who are listening. In fact, I'm not really sure how you make it to 10 without rejection and anger. I just think it's a part of the human experience, right? We are complex. We contain multitudes, right? Walt Whitman quote. We are not meant to be one-dimensional, right? And so we get to experience all of the feelings, emotion, the whole range of it. It's one of the things that makes us so different from the other creatures on this planet, right? And because we have the ability to process that rejection and that anger. When it goes unprocessed, it stays right where it is, right? But processing it through something like peace can get us to that sweetness, right? I didn't read what she said about the peace card. Let's see. And she does call these the white cards, interestingly enough. I imagine she kept them like a light gray like this because she wanted to keep, she would have had to use black, right? She couldn't use white on white. So she would have had to use black. And I don't see anywhere in here, all the cards have white as the line work. And so I think it would have been a departure from the cohesiveness of the deck if she had done white cards with black on it. So that was smart to use gray. She says white cards in the reading. Oh, wait, glasses back on. The white cards in this deck have in common a sense of stillness. If you end up having mostly white cards in a reading, moving toward a sense of calm may be something that you're working on right now or have worked on in the recent past. What do you need to know to find tranquility? For peace, she says, when shining light through a prism, all the colors are revealed in a rainbow. White light is the combination of every color within the visible spectrum working harmoniously together. When this card is drawn, it is an invitation to bring a sense of peace into your life. This may come to you after a period of turmoil as a sign of healing, or you may find it when the mind is quieted during a simple meditation, or when you are taking a moment to just stop and reflect. Open up your heart and let peace come to you. Accept this gentle offering of healing and stillness. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I think that's a perfect reading for us today. As a writer, I've experienced a lot of rejection in my writing. Hi, Nomi, welcome, because it's a part of the journey, right? If I'm going to submit my work to be published in literary journals and magazines and wherever I'm submitting, there is a certain amount of rejection that comes with that. If you're not getting, I had a professor once who said to me, if you're not getting any rejections, Kyla, it means you're not putting your work out. The only way that you're going to get rejections is if you're putting your work out. So there's something really powerful about rejection. It also, I think, builds resilience. You have to keep bouncing back from those rejections. It also builds, it can strengthen the work you're doing. All of the really good rejections I've ever gotten have been accompanied with suggestions for how to make something better. And so I feel like it's rejection can have can sort of build character, right, and move us towards being better at whatever the thing is that we were rejected from, you know. And I think that's true in relationships as well, right? Or with people, you know. So not just about not just rejection for the sake of rejection, but I do think that rejection has some beautiful stuff in it. And then anger has its purpose as well, right? I actually get a little bit uneasy around people who never get angry about anything ever. Like never, nothing ever gets you angry. Now, I shouldn't say that. That's not true. Damon doesn't get angry. I've never seen him really get angry at a person. I have seen him be angered by a situation, like angered when he finds out that the medical system or a doctor gave bad advice to someone and they ended up, suffering because of that. He did get angry when I was going through my whole health journey and the doctors kept jerking me around. It angered him. Right. But I think there's a distinction between, and I'm using Damon because Damon has done a lot of work in terms of he meditates daily. He is he's one of the most zen and even people that I know. But even in his evenness, he has moments where he, fluctuates. Hi, Odelia. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I think that anger has its place. And I think what Damon, being married to him, what he has sort of taught me, and I don't think he's on this call right now because I heard him walk out to go to I think he went to grab a few things from the co-op, our little grocery co-op that we have here. But one of the things being married to him has really taught me is how to be able to name that anger. Right? Because even when you're angry, being able to name what you're angry about, the level and the intensity of your anger, like all of that can actually help to start diffuse some of it, can help you process through it, right? Being able to name it. So, yeah. And then sweetness. I mean, who doesn't love sweetness? Sweetness. All right. So that's our reading for today. Tina says the spread does the color mixing for us. Orange plus red plus white equals pink. There are layers of messages. Yes. I love it. Love it. Love it. Nomi is cleaning her desk and listening. Nomi, feel free to come on right on over here. When you're done there, feel free. Just knock on the back door. I'm close to it. I'll just run and open it, let you in. Come on in here and tidy up over here on this desk as well. I got a pot of soup simmering on low, low, low. I'm happy to share a bowl with you in exchange for you taking care of my desk as well. Ah, I love it. Naomi says, I wish I could come over. It's so much fun to tidy other people's spaces. I love it. All right, so I'm going to put our cards for the day. Let me keep them in the right order here for when I'll put those over here in front of me. And I don't even know right now what I want to work on today. It's been so fun to have the letters of the alphabet be my guide. Answering questions. Let's do that. We're going to answer questions and we're going to do zodiac. So hold on. Tina, did you just meet me? You know what kind of soup I got going in there. You know what I'm cooking. My all-time favorite. My all-time favorite. I'm going to wait and see if you know. I'm going to wait and see if you type it in the chat. All right. Before I say it. All right. So we're going to say day 27. Cannot believe it's day 27, y'all. What? That's crazy pants. All right. So we're going to finish up our zodiac conversation. And I'm going to answer some questions. And I'm just going to write down fountain pens because I'm probably going to do, there's one of the questions is about fountain pens and it's going to open a whole can of worms. I already know. So we'll do that. And for my, I need something to do with my hands while I'm talking. So I'll probably do some slow stitching. Maybe. We'll see. Tina says, rolling on the floor, laughing out loud. I was just wondering, what is it? Pea soup for the win? Split pea soup, baby. Today I'm mixing yellow and green split peas in the same pot. We're going to see how that works for me. They have two very distinct flavors to me. And I usually am pretty much a purist. I just like my green split pea, but I'm gonna be adventurous today and I'm gonna try something different. I'm gonna mix my yellow split peas with my green and see what yumminess ensues. We shall see. We shall see. Okay, I'm gonna move that over. All right, so let me start with questions, and while I'm playing with pens, I will also speak on some zodiac stuff. Okay. Tina says, I'm making it on Tuesday. Yummy. Yay, split pea. All right. So one of the questions I got was about this little notebook that I keep with all my inky bits in it. And I had showed that I have 3 volumes. And volume 1, volume 2, and volume 3, the most recent one. And the person asked me, do I have an index of all of them so that I can know which one to go to for a pen? The answer to that is no, but it is a brilliant idea. And I almost feel like I have to now implement that idea somehow, some way. I have to find some little something that I can stick in here, or make a little something that I can stick in here to be my sort of catch-all index that then tells me, so if I'm like, oh, I'm looking for my Lamy, I don't know, Smurf, I call it Papa Smurf pen. I don't know which one of these it's in. So yeah, what I have to do every time is scroll, take my finger and scroll through the front and back of each one to figure out if it's in here. And that is not always, that sometimes can take me a minute. So this person who sent me that, thank you. It's a really smart idea. Like even now, I'm like, where is that pen? Which book is it in? I don't actually know. So yeah, I don't have it like listed like that, but I'm now going to do that because that is a very smart idea. Okay. So I will definitely do that. And yes, Tina, I'll keep you posted on how the mixing of the two peas turns out. Oh, Stephanie, no, that is not why I'm doing it. Stephanie asking, am I mixing the yellow and green peas because of the cards we pulled yesterday, which here's a little printed version of the 4 cards that I pulled. But no, that was not my plan, or that was not my reason, but I love it. Deidre says an Excel sheet. Deidre, listen, I have a whole Google spreadsheet workbook that I have called My Life in Spreadsheets, and it has about 30, maybe 35 little tabs at the bottom. And one of them is my fountain pens, but they're not matched to this. So maybe I need to just simplify my life and match things up. So yeah. Another question was, could I find who I bought these from? And I think I put it on Fountain Pen Day. I'll have to go on F Day. I'll have to go back and look. I think I put her link there. She used to be Engine Cutie because she's an engineer. And I think she went by Engine Cutie for a while. Her name is Chanel. Do I have Chanel's name anywhere in any of these? I feel like I would have documented that. Oh, look. This is what her name used to be. Engine Cutie. But I don't think she goes by that anymore on Instagram. So sorry, y'all. I don't know 100%, but I'll double check. I won't leave you hanging. I promise I'll figure it out for you. Okay. And I'll see. She may or may not even be making these anymore. This was years ago, y'all. Like this was, let's see, that's volume 3. Let's go back to a date in volume 1. This was 2017 when I got this from her. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. All right. There was a question about filling pens, and the pen this person asked about, let's see if I can find it. Where might you be? Was this one? Because I made a comment about this pen can be, this is a custom pen from Ben at Mayfair Pens, and I'll make sure I link to him if I didn't already. This pen, I can use a cartridge, totally could, but you also can just fill the inside of it. And she asked how do I fill the pens the question was, how do I fill the pens where I put the ink in the body of the pen? All right. We call these eyedropper pens because you can use like a little eyedropper tool like this, suck up your ink. That one needs to be refilled. So why don't we just do it while we're sitting here? That pen should be in here. It's in here, but I haven't It should be right there, number 32. 32. See, sometimes I'm good at keeping things straight, and most times I am not. I am not. But let's name it here. I can't. It's a custom pen, so I can't. I'm gonna call it my Red Dragon pen. How about that? Because it's one I specifically requested the different, parts and pieces, and he made it special for me. So, not one you're gonna like find on his website. He does a lot of custom pens. We're gonna call it the Red Dragon. There is a name for the model of this pen, but I can't remember what it is, and I didn't write it in here. I'm just going to put by Ben at Mayfair. All right, let's do the ink. So this is where it gets fun, because now I have to go figure out, where is this Diamine Spiced Apple Chameleon ink? There's a part of me that believes, oh, shut the front door right now. This ink, I promise this ink is just sitting here on this table. Here's why though, because the last time I filled this ink in October in this pen, I didn't put it away. That's the only reason. I didn't put it away. It's been sitting out here this whole time. That's the only reason that it's still sitting here, is because I did not put it away. So I'm going to just get some paper towel situation. All right. So while I'm refilling this ink, I think we can also, am I going to fill? I don't need that one. All right. I'm going to make myself a little ink palette here, so in case ink drops or spills, I can catch it, because it can be messy. This is this was from, I don't know, y'all, one of the ink at Inkvent calendar inks. Let me see, what am I missing in the chat? Nomi says you should add a third type of pea and call it your PPP soup. Nomi, I love that. That's too good. That's too good. I can't even. Okay. Y'all listen. The proper way to do this versus the Kiala way. Proper way. I'm just gonna assemble the pen. The proper way is to take an eyedropper tool or a syringe. Those of us in the fountain pen world, we often use syringes. Not like a syringe you would use to give yourself like an insulin shot or something like that. But this one, see how this one has a really big hole there? So we'll use syringes to suck up the ink and then whoop, drop it in there. But listen, why can't I just pour it in? That's what I do. I just pour it in. So I'm going to do that. But I'm going to grab my little kit, my cleaning kit, because inside my cleaning kit, I keep, among many, many things, inside my little cleaning kit, I keep, oh, I have so many things in there. I keep a little silicone grease. I have it in 2 different versions. That little version with the little tip on it, and then I have this little version that's Comes in a little container like this that I want to say actually maybe came from Ben. I'm not sure if it did or not. A lot of pen makers and pen companies will send you a little silicone grease, but you only need like the tiniest amount. All right, so like a drop. Y'all see that little drop? One little drop. And then I just take my little pinky and I just run it across those threads. And that silicone grease creates a little bit of a seal for you so that that ink does not spill out. Probably should have done that after I did this part. Hi, Suzanne. Glad you're popping in. All right, so let's pour a little bit of this in. Again, this is the Kiala Givehand version. I'm not telling you to do yours like this. Some people put a little bit of silicone grease on this portion of the, of the threads there. In fact, I better do that. In fact, I'm sitting here looking at, I already put the lid on. I'm sitting here looking at this, and I think I probably should not have put the silicone there. In fact, I almost know I shouldn't have, because that is actually for the, I'm going to leave it. It's going to be fine. I'll just wipe it off a little bit, but that is actually for the cap. I forgot the model of this pen is different than most ink drop pens or eyedropper pens. So I'm going to clean that little silicone grease off. It's not going to hurt anything, but it really should go on here. So let's get it where it's really supposed to be. I can feel it even from there. All right, now I'm holding this because I'm afraid if I drop it or put it down. All right, so one little bit. Again, running the fingers around those tines. Drop that in. Twist, twist, twist to reassemble the pen. And every pen's a little different, y'all. Every pen is a little different. I'm going to put the lid on that. I said the lid, the cap. And I'm just going to move that ink around a little bit in there. Please notice I did not clean my pen because I'm using the same color ink. I really only clean my pens when I am going to change the color, or when I'm going to put the pen away for a while and not use it. That's really the only time I clean my pens, if I'm being honest. And we saw the other day that I don't always clean them when I'm going to put them away. Sometimes I put them away and don't clean a darn thing. All right, so let's just get that ink a-flowing. Hold on, I'm going to show y'all one other little trick that I do. Another little trick. All right, another little trick is I use, oh, I'm such a silly gal sometimes. I buy these at like the dollar store, all right, because I'm using it for fountain pen stuff, not really for my eyes. So I'll take a little bit, and this is just the Clear Eyes. You can use any of the little eyedropper thingies. Eye drop, and I'm just wetting my nib with this. There's what we call a breather hole here, an ink hole. That hole, when I'm filling my pen using a converter, that hole has to be submerged so that the ink can be pulled in and up, right? So I use that to help get my ink flowing in my pens. Just drop a little water on it, and that helps it start to get going. You could also just drop water from, you know, some other thing. All right, so then I come in and I'm pretty sure this is still the same color. It is. So, spiced apple. And this is a chameleon ink. It changes when it's dry, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a moment here. So today is 4/27. So now my pen is refilled and ready for lots and lots of writing. But let's just look at that ink really quickly before it starts to do its full drying situation. All right, can you all, I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see it, but this is completely dry up here. And if you kind of, I hate that I can't really get y'all to see it. It has a green and red sort of color shift happening in it. But I don't know how to really get y'all to see that green to red shift that's happening in there. Oh, you can kind of see it here. If I don't drop the book, you can kind of see it happening here. Yeah, a little bit. Look at the letters D-I-A right here on where my thumb is. Okay, you can kind of see it there. So as it dries, that color, you can even see it in this, that color does a little shifting thingy bop. Pretty cool, and I like it. So that's Spiced Apple by Diamond. All right, and I got a little bit more of that left, but I probably should put it away at some point. All right, so that's the eyedropper pens. And another person was asking me about these little pens that I have here. I'm going to have to do some research to figure out where I got these from, but they would fill the same way. Okay, you would do the same thing with these. Disassemble the pen. Take the nib out. It's just a twist. You take the nib out. For this one, and this is what I mean by every pen's a little different. For this one, you're going to put your silicone here and here. Okay, so I didn't necessarily have to just take this part out, but if you want to put the silicone grease on it, you need to take it out. And a little bit there. Put your drop, use an eyedropper, whatever. Put your ink in this little piece and reassemble. Make sure you got some silicone on here. But again, this little pen has this, what we call an O-ring, has a little O-ring on it. So you may not have, you may just test it and see. You may not need to put silicone on it. And then put your ink in there and you're done. So same thing we just did. I'll have to see where I got these from. I've had these for a while. Let's see if they're named in here. All right, that's probably going to be, because I don't have a system, that's probably going to take me forever to figure out. Yeah, so I'll have to do a little, Moon Man. Okay, yes, I found it. I will put the name of it in the description. I found it. All right, what else? Questions. Go back to the questions. Okay, there's a question about pens I was showing. You were showing pens that they were roller balls, but you changed them to gel. They were roller ball, but I changed them to gel. Oh, roller ball, but I changed them to gel. I have a lot of pens like that, so I don't know which one that could have been. However, let's just Let's pull out the Big Daddy because it's probably in here. It's probably any of these that are like, probably this one was one of them that has, can't remember how this one, I think it's up here. Yeah, okay. So this is a Monteverde. I think the person was asking me for the different brands I use. This is a Monteverde ceramic gel in purple. And most of my, like if it's a twist, it has to have this little mechanism on the bottom. Just take out the refill that's in the pen you're trying to refill. And however that looks, take that to the Office Depot, not Lowe's, Office Depot, Staples, Walmart, I don't know, wherever you're going to buy your pen refills from, or online. I usually buy most of my rollerball pen in person so I can take the little refill into the store with me and match it up. Because yeah, that's the best way to do it, is to match it up. And then yeah, so any of these ones that were like the twisties, if they come as a ballpoint, you can actually change them to a rollerball by simply opening them up, like figure out where to twist to get to the refill itself. Ooh, that is a mess right there, isn't it? Again, bad fountain pen user, or bad pen user. I gotta do better. That thing is gunked up at the bottom. So this one is a Parker gel refill, 0.7. So you can, yeah, you can change your pens out. If it's a roller ball, you can change it to a gel. If it has a refill, this probably is Dunzo. And I probably need to clean that out. But I'm just gonna close my pen back up. And when I'm ready to refill it, I kind of know that most of mine take Parker gel refills. Yeah, so those are ones that I think are probably the best. It might have been this Yafa also that I was showing. Again, just figure out how it unscrews to expose the refill. Here's another Parker refill, but that one's black, 0.7. I should probably do a better job. Don't judge it, people. Don't judge it. In fact, I want to refill this Yafa. So let me just see if I can find. All right, while I'm refilling the Yafa, let's talk about, I think, okay, so y'all said we did Virgo. So next would be Libra in the zodiac. So Libra is the first of the signs that doesn't have like an animal or a human as the mascot. It has a tool, the scales. All right. And the scales, hold on, y'all. I might have the wrong. This is the bag with all the fountain pen cartridges. This is not the bag with the rollerball things. So please hold. One moment. Well, that's curious. Oh, I see it. I was going to say, I know I have a bag somewhere. So Libra is the first sign that has a tool instead of a person or animal as its mascot. The scales. And so Libra, think about the scales. Think about the scales, the kind of scales that have like two things on, one on each side, and you're like weighing things out. Like that gives you a lot of information right there when it comes to Libra. Libra energy is that energy that is always weighing things out. Weighing out all the things. Sorry, y'all, I'm just... This will be the one that I don't have, the one that I want. Always the case, right? This one will work, but let's see if it actually has ink in it. Oh, it's got like a brown ink. I guess I could do a brown ink in that. That wouldn't be too bad. Let me think about it. So the scale. So Libra is Libra energy. Remember, just a reminder, we all have all of these signs. All these signs, all these zodiacs, we're all of it. We are made up of all 12 zodiacal signs. I'm going to be full of ink, which is like a little badge of honor for a fountain pen user, right? We're not afraid of ink. Oh, that one hasn't even been opened yet. It's probably also brown. Can't see the color on it, but I'm thinking they kind of look identical, so that's probably also brown. We're just going to go with brown. Let's just go with brown, why don't we? Throw that one away. So Libra energy is that energy that gives us permission to weigh things out. It likes balance and harmony. More so than balance, it loves harmony. It appreciates harmony. It likes things to be in balance with each other. It likes things to be in harmony with each other. That goes a long way for Libra. So often, so it's an air sign. Didn't say that. Sorry, didn't give you the original, the beginning context. It's an air sign. And it's a cardinal energy. So the other thing about the cardinal energies that I didn't say yesterday, y'all, the cardinal energies start the seasons. Right? They begin the seasons for us. So Libra starts the fall, autumn, if you have it. If you want to call it autumn instead. So now that I have refilled this, it gets to come out and play. Let's move some things off my desk. So the cardinal energies are also those initiating energies. So we have our air cardinal now, right? So each of the elements has a cardinal sign associated with it. Right? So we've got our air cardinal is Libra. And I don't usually document these pens, but I am going to do a little bit of writing with it to just make sure that this is going to be good. Yeah, it's like a light brown rose gold looking color, which is kind of odd. I like it though. It's different. All right, so I've got a new pen to write with. Not a new pen, but a newly refilled pen. While I'm at it, I didn't show y'all my, since we're talking zodiac, this is my little Cosmos pen. And this is by Retro 51. Pretty sure. Oh, it has ink in it already. Don't need to refill it. Retro 51 is the company that makes this pen. And I want to say that made this pen too, but I'm still trying to figure out this one, y'all. I can't remember. But Retro 51, they do some really beautiful pens. I love how, where's Stephanie, was it you and I talking about Pluto? Look at how they just put Pluto up here out of the, it's like, Pluto, you just, everybody else is in the galaxy. Here's Pluto up here by itself. You can't make it up. Crazy, funny. But I thought you might get a kick out of that. Okay, so Libra, air energy. It's a cardinal sign. It's ruled by Venus. It is a very social sign. It likes being with people. It is sorry y'all, I need something to do. So let me get something up here in my face that I can do while we're doing this. I think I will. Work on my little journal. While we're doing that, while I'm talking, so I have something to do with my hands. Ooh-wee. I need to count my days. Oh, please. I haven't been doing a good job of like writing him. D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. This was my one for Z. I want to keep them together. I'm just going to keep them on here. All right, so Libra, air, cardinal. It's the scales. It is a very social energy. It also is the peacekeeper. If we're going to talk archetypes, it's the peacekeeper energy. Right? It's that energy that wants everybody to get along. What do we have to do to make sure everybody's happy and everybody's getting along with one another? That's that Libra energy. And we all have it in us. We all have places in our lives. If you look at your the house that Libra is sitting in for you. You will see, you may agree that those are places in your life where you enjoy harmony. You like things to be harmonious, people to be harmonious. You like everybody to have what they need, a sense of fairness, right? A sense of things being fair. Everybody having, you know, what they need and sometimes even what they want. What were the cards from yesterday, y'all? Those were the cards from yesterday. What were the cards from the day before? Was it these? So Libra, where we have Libra, and anybody with heavy Libra energy, like if it's your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, if you've got multiple planetary bodies in Libra, one of your heavy hitters in Libra, then you've got, you know, what I consider heavy Libra energy. Those Those folks are likely the people who just try to keep everybody happy, everybody calm. I have not looked in the chat, not one time. Okay. Stephanie says yes, save Pluto. So ruled by Venus, it also is, Libra, that anything ruled by Venus is going to bring us back to the energy of like, actually, I'm just going to trim all the white off of these. I did that for the other one. What we value, what we find beautiful. It's about what we attract and want to attract into our lives, right? That's Venus energy. So Libra is ruled by Venus. So there's that part that shows up. So if you want somebody to come help you organize and make things look beautiful in your home, you might get a Virgo or a Libra to come help you out. Right? Virgo will keep it nice and organized for you. They'll color code everything for you. They'll also just come and be like, you shouldn't have that right there or that right there. That doesn't look right there. Libras will do it in a little more of a harmonious tone. They'll do more like, did you really want to put this here? Maybe we could move it over there. Right? They really care about how things look. Because that's that beauty. They like for things to look beautiful and have that beauty showing up. So the other really thing, when Libra energy is in alignment, hear me carefully, when it's in alignment, in us, when it's in alignment in us, when we are fully aligned with our Libra energy, we are really good at seeing everybody's side. Like if there are two people having an argument, we're like, right, your side's valid. I get what you're saying. Also, this other person, their side is valid because what they're saying is blah, 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 right? Libra can do that. Libra, when it's in balance, can really see all sides of a situation. Like it can see both sides. It can understand, and it is a really good mediator energy, right? Really good energy for being like a mediator. I almost don't want to glue these down because I feel like I don't remember what day I pulled which cards. I thought I had them in a really good order, but I feel like it was the literary witches. The question is, where are those cards? Oh, there they are. Was it the literary witches? We'll just cut them out while I'm talking. Suzanne says, I have a Virgo moon, so my organization is in shadow. I love that. Deidre says, damn, I'm really good at organizing functional kitchens. About Virgo here. Let's talk, Suzanne brought up the word shadow. Let's talk shadow for a minute of Libra. And I don't know that I did shadow of all of them, and that's okay. Come join me for the actual class I'm going to be teaching, and you'll get way more information about all of these and lots of other insights around how to really work with these energies, because I'm talking about them being in balance and out of balance. Well, what if it's out of balance? What do you do? So I'll be sharing lots of things around that and really helping you. The goal is for creative, so I'm also really bringing in the creative ways that these energies can show up, in the ways in which we can harness them for our creative practice and our creative growth. So also when Libra, so let's talk shadow for a moment. When Libra is in shadow, it can really get itself into this like mindset of making illusion and fantasy of like, wanting things to be picture perfect, wanting everything. And so starting to convince itself that this is what perfection looks like. This is what beauty looks like. This is the ideal. This is what the ideal looks like, right? And that can be tricky. That can be a really tricky spot to be in. All right, so I don't really know what goes with what anymore. I'm gonna have to go back through my videos to figure this out. So I'm not gonna try to put these on because I will inevitably put something in the wrong place. So we'll just let that be. I cut them out. They're ready for me. I'll let that be enough for now. Um, So that Libra energy, when it's in shadow, it avoids conflict at all costs. It wants everything to be perfect and beautiful. It can create these fantasy-like illusions that everything's fine, everyone's fine, everybody's happy. When in fact that very well may not be the case, right? Does not like conflict and will avoid conflict at all costs. And the thing that it gets the bad rap that Libra gets is that it is that Libras have such a hard time making decisions. Libras can never make a decision. That's not true. Libras can absolutely make decisions. Um, they just need to weigh all the options first in order to make a decision. They need to see, okay, yes, I want to go on vacation, but I could go to the mountains or I could go to the beach. Which one do I really want to do? I could go somewhere where it's nice and sunny and tropical, or I could go camping where it's woodsy and the opposite of tropical, right? Um, and they want to weigh it out instead of just going, I'm gonna go to the beach. Done. They go, well, the beach, I could do this sort of tropical. I'd have to get bikini. I have to do this kind of thing, swimsuit. I need blah, blah, blah. Or I could do, right? The shadow is when the analysis paralysis sets in, right? We all need that discernment, that weighing of the options. We all need that energy in us. What happens is when we can't make up our minds because we spend too much time assessing every single possible option that could ever possibly potentially ever exist in the infinite universe, right? That is when it gets in trouble. I love it. Angelisa says, my husband is Libra, and so far this does not describe him. He must be way out of alignment. Not necessarily. And this brings up a really good point. And that good point is there's nature and there's nurture, right? Sometimes these things get nurtured out of us. It's in our nature. But if we were raised a certain way or in a certain environment, influenced by a certain thing, if we went on in our lives to get a certain type of job that then became a part of our identity, right? Like there are a number of things that can have people not feeling or sounding like the thing that they are, right? And it also is a combination. It's like saying, that cake has chocolate, cinnamon, and nutmeg in it, but it doesn't taste anything like red velvet cake, right? The ingredients are different. The ingredients are different, right? So you can say, oh yeah, that cake has chocolate. Well, so does that one, but they taste completely different. German chocolate cake has chocolate, so does red velvet. They don't taste anything alike. And that's because there's a different configuration of all the ingredients. So that's the same of that is true for us when we start talking astrology, right? We would need to look at like, what is his moon sign? What is his rising sign? Is his sun in detriment or exalted where it is? Like there are a lot of other factors, right? So yeah, there can be a lot of things that can take us what seems like out of alignment with our truest sort of imprinting from our natal charts. Absolutely. So it doesn't always mean that we are living out of alignment. It could just mean that it's been nurtured out of us. The environment we've lived in all of our lives has pretty much nurtured it out of us to the point where we can't even really even identify with some of these things. And I've had that before where I've done a reading for someone that was just like, gosh, Kyla, none of this resonates with me. And I've done a reading. Let me say this. I've done readings for people where they've been like, gosh, none of this resonates for me. And then I say, okay, are you 100% sure this is your birth time and your birth date? Right? Are you 100% sure? And I've had one case where the person was like, oh my God, wrong birth time. Okay. And it was literally a matter of minutes and 7 different things shifted. I had another situation where someone's like, wow, I didn't even think to go back and ask. And I went and poked and prodded and asked my mother, why was she sure about my birth time? And I kept asking. And she kept saying, yeah. And I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? And this person's mother was like, why do you keep asking me about this? And she's like, oh, I'm trying to get my astrology stuff, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, and they have to have your exact date, time, location. And turns out, not to say this is your husband's case, Angelisa, I'm just giving y'all an example. Turns out that this person had been adopted and didn't know it. And her mother finally told her in that moment. Right. So there are a lot of reasons why things could be off or seem off. The other is, again, that nurturing piece. Right. I've worked with a woman who had triple fire. And turns out that her entire life, she has been in 2 marriages, her mother and her father and her older siblings, everybody in her life that was like significant in some way would constantly try to tamper that fire down. They spent a tremendous amount of effort trying to keep her from being that fiery energy that she was. And that turned her into this person who doesn't feel like she has any of that fire energy, right? So astrology shows us a snapshot, but the way our lives unfold also gives us a lot of information. Our lived experience can shift things as well. So yeah. Stephanie says putting in birth time made a huge difference in my chart. Yeah, the time of your birth shifts because the things in the sky, the things in the cosmos are always moving and shifting, y'all. Right? So, all right, I'm gonna do a little stitching, a little bit of stitching. Let me bring up some of my stitching projects here, and we'll do a little stitching while I talk about the rest of the chart. This is some fabric. I was like, I have to bring this in. This is from Cindy Gilstrap. I think I mentioned Cindy on one of the days I pulled from her deck. And this was what was wrapped, and I was like, oh, this has to be in one of my some of this is that's the scrappy bits. All right, I'll try to adjust my my table here to. All right, that's one that I want to work on right now. Let me find my needle. Got some thread there. It's just about all you need, needle and thread. So, okay, that's probably good about Libra. That's enough about Libra. What do I want to say? Okay, so Scorpio is next. Y'all, why won't I put on my glasses? Somebody tell me. Let me put these glasses on. Oh my God, and it's so crazy. Like I literally every time I put the glasses on, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so much better. Duh, that's what the glasses are for. They're to help you see better. However, I don't need them all the time. That's the thing. So I keep taking them off and putting them back on and taking them off. All right, so after Libra, we have Scorpio. Where my Scorpios at? I feel like an astrology DJ. Scorpio. Okay. Let me get this little needle situated and then I can focus. Okay. I think. Hold on. Scorpio is mascoted by the scorpion, that creature that crawls and stingy with the stinger on it. I really don't know what I want to do with this, but I want to do something. And it is a water sign. And Scorpio is one of those things I always confuse. I'm like, no, it's a fire sign. It just has such a fiery energy to me. And I think that is because it is such an intense energy. Let's put it here. And that intensity makes it feel to me, I'm not saying anybody else in the world feels this about Scorpio, but that intensity makes me always confuses me to thinking that it is a fire sign, but it's not. It's a water sign. It's a very intense water sign, but it's definitely a water sign. And it's a fixed energy. So again, those fixed energies are the ones that can feel intense. Some of that intensity comes from their fixedness. And so if you think about water being the element for feelings and emotions, matters of the heart, if you think about that in relationship to Scorpio, right, and that intensity showing up in that way, right, intense relationships, intense friendships, anything that has to do with feelings and matters of the heart, that's that Scorpio energy. It gets really intense and pretty deep. In the natural order of the chart, Scorpio sits on the 8th house. Okay, it's the 8th sign. And that 8th house is the house that's all about death and rebirth, transformation, fears, power and control, some of the more intense things, right, in our lives, in the world. And so it stands to reason. I think I'm going to want to change this thread pretty soon here. It stands to reason that that scorpionic energy would feel intense because of that. And so where we have Scorpio in our charts, we probably are super intense about things that we care about. Let's put a little glue on the back of this so it'll stop moving around already. Thank you very much. Stay where I want you to stay. So that intensity that fixedness, that water intensity can feel very much like lots of stabby energy. But really and truly, Scorpio is a very intense feeling energy. It feels things very deeply. And we need that. We need to feel deeply. It's a part of what makes us human, right? Is that we can experience feelings on a deep level, right? Deep love, deep joy, uh, deep sadness, deep grief. Also, things like deep betrayal, right? That's a big part of it too. In fact, betrayal is a really big theme in the scorpionic energy. It is, I think, also one of the things that I think is really beautiful about Scorpio is that when you are in the energy of someone who has heavy scorpionic energy, um, they can also be really, if they are in alignment and they have done their work to understand how their energy impacts the energy of others, they can be really amazing. I mean, we all can, right? We all have the capacity to be amazing healers because that intense work, if we've done it, helps us know how to guide others through their intense work, right? So looking at where you have Scorpio in your chart might also point you to where you are able to help others, help yourself first and foremost, but help others through their personal sort of death and rebirth experiences, because that's really what Scorpio does really well. Sometimes you might have, depending on the Scorpio in your life, if they have a sense of humor, it might be really difficult to even tell that they're joking because their intensity can sometimes make you go, wait, are you teasing? Or are you serious? Like, I can't tell which one. Suzanne says her husband's a Scorpio. Nomi says, I think it's because the rest of us feel the burn from their intensity. Yeah, it can kind of feel like that. It can kind of feel like that. And here's the thing that's funny. They don't even know that they're that intense. Like, I don't know that a lot of Scorpios would be like, yes, I'm exactly as intense as you're thinking I am. I think for them it's par for the course, right? It's their normal. It's intense for the rest of us, right? And that's when things become really subjective. Like, what I think is intense, somebody else might be like, that's nothing. You haven't seen intense, right? So there's some of that's at play as well. Like, what I think is intense, somebody else might not, and vice versa, right? So that part. There's a lot more I could probably say about Scorpio, but the other, let's talk about this. That fixed energy that comes from our Scorpio placement, it can also make it really difficult for us if we are not being aware. It can make it really difficult. Oh, that's going to be a small stitch. It's okay. For us to move past things like betrayal or grief, or like, it can make it really difficult for us. That fixed energy is like, it wants to hold on to things, right? So if you piss off a Scorpio, you better give them tons of time to get over it. The one thing you don't want to say to a Scorpio is, get over it already. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Not going to bode well for you. I can already tell you. Um, Tina says, I think scorpion sting equals fire. I have to remind myself that it's a water sign. Yeah, same. Nomi says, if someone is in their deep water and uncomfortable staying there, it can be uncomfortable for others. Yep, absolutely. Tina says, Scorpio rising. I can be intense about some things. Yeah, I would likely say, if you're a Scorpio rising, that means Scorpio's in your first house. So I would say, look at those first house things, and just ask yourself, like, are these the things that I feel intense about, or that I have intense energies around? That's what I would do. And I would also look at what else is sitting there. If there's anything else sitting there, any other planetary body, that's going to flavor it as well. Hi, Lunar. Who is that? Who is that with the lunar? Oh, hi, Debbie. Hi, Debbie. I'm excited you're here. Oh, happy birthday. Yay. Thanks for dropping in. I'm going to be on a little bit longer, not much more, but glad you were able to pop in and connect with us here. Come on back to PPP. We're still over there. Come hang out with us. We're in year 8. Crazy, right? Tina says, I hope you... Oh, typing. Okay, so yeah, the scorpionic energy. We need it. We need that intensity. We all do. What's also important to note is a big part of having Scorpio energy, which we all do, is learning when that intensity is helpful and when it's not. Right? When to take it down a notch. Also, another thing that you probably don't want to say to a Scorpio to their face. Just take it down a notch already. So yeah, that part. Because sometimes, depending on who the Scorpio is, how much work they've done on themselves to be fully aware of their energy, they can sometimes feel like they are piercing you just by how they look at you. Right? They can give you a death stare in just one glance, and you literally feel like you're being stabbed. And because we all have Scorpio in us, when it comes to those things in our lives, we all have that ability to do that, right? To create that. Oh, that's not where I want that to go. To create that feeling in others of like, oh my God, this person literally just stabbed me with their eyes. Have you ever heard somebody say, if looks could kill? Right. Yeah, that part. Okay, so that's Scorpio. That's probably enough to say about it. But I do want to say where we have Scorpio in our charts is also where it kind of that is where we may see some of our fears and traumas play out. Some issues around power and control might play out there in that placement. So it's an intense energy because it brings with it some intense healing. So just like we can have intense betrayal or intense grief, we can also have some intense healing that happens through our Scorpio journey, So those areas of life can be the areas where we get our deepest transformation, and that can be really powerful, I think. Really, really powerful. All right, keeping it going. Let's keep moving. Let's go to Yes, Sagittarius. My brain is going. Is it? Yep, it's Sag next. Scorpio, Sag, yeah. Okay, so Sagittarius. The mascot is the archer with the bow and arrow. So think about that archer, usually depicted as like a centaur, half man, half horse, with a bow and arrow in its hand. It's a fire sign. It's a fire sign, and it's a mutable fire sign. So mutable energy is that energy that is good with moving, changing, adapting. It adapts really easily to its environment and its surroundings. The thing I love to say about Sag, my favorite little phrase to use for Sag is Sagittarius is our roam and wander energy. Roam and wander. It's our adventurous energy too. It's a different kind of adventurous than Aries adventurous. Can I get another stitch in? Let's see if I can. I think I can. All right, I'm just gonna, can I make this? I'm gonna make a transition back to this and continue going across the way I was doing there. I like that. I think that's gonna look cool. Okay, sorry, lots of talking to myself here, y'all. I have to take a sip of water. Don't let your Scorpio down, Suzanne. We'll see you later. Thanks for being here. Thank you. So Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter. And so think about Jupiter. I said some things the other day about Jupiter. Growth, expansion, abundance, liberation too. Like this sense of freedom comes with that Jupiter energy. So all of that maps and tracks back to Sagittarius. Think about that arrow that the archer has. It can point it anywhere. It's like, I'm going to go in that direction, right? It can point it exactly where it wants to go. And that becomes its thing. I think I'm going to call that done. I know I had this other little piece, but I don't think, I kind of feel like something is missing right here. I just don't know what. But I think I might just leave it and move on to another one. So Sag is that energy that is like, it's that energy that's like, the world is my oyster. I can go wherever I want to go and do whatever I want to do. It has this beautiful, like, gift of seeing the world with like awe and wonder. It's also a very, for it to be a fire sign, it's probably one of the more emotional fire signs. And what I mean by that is, I think I'm going to leave that like that. Let that be okay. I keep saying I'm going to switch this this thread, but I really like this thread on here. I think it's doing what I want it to do in life. All right, let's work on a new one. Let's find a new one to work on. Put that one there. Oh, I've got this little one that's already waiting on me. Let's do that. Just need to put some stitches on it. So Sagittarius, I forgot what I was saying there, but I will just say it is a big energy, but different than some of the other ones that I have called big energies. When it's in alignment, it is constantly trying to improve itself, like really big on self-improvement and being the best version of itself that it can be when it's in alignment. If you are in the energy of a Sagittarius, a heavy Sag person, like Sag Sun or Sag Moon, mostly Sag Sun though, honestly. If you're in the energy of a Sag Sun, you're going to know they're there. They let themselves be known. They're proud of who they are. Again, when they're in alignment and they've been doing that self-improvement, personal growth and development work. And because, oh, that's going to be disastrous right there. I can already see it. What is happening? Oh, no, that's fine. And because they're constantly doing work on themselves, y'all, Sag is also the one that is the first one to tell you when you're not doing the work. They're the first ones to be like, so here's something you can do to make yourself better. Maybe not in those words. They might hand you a self-help book. They might say, hey, I took this workshop called Pull Pen Paint, and it really helped me get better at being a good version of myself. You should come join me, right? That's that Sag energy. It's like, hey. So they might hand you a self-help book or tell you about a class or invite you to a workshop, or right? But they are definitely ones who want to do better and be better. Again, when that energy is in alignment, they can be kind of opinionated. They can be the one that is like the friend who you say, oh, what do you think? Does this look good on me? And they're like, I mean, if you like it, I think it's fine. They're that friend. They're the one that's like, I'm just going to have to keep it real with you. I don't think you should wear that outfit. Sometimes they're more blunt than most people can handle. But it's all in service of, again, improvement, self-improvement. It's not trying to be judge and jury. It's like, well, you asked me, and if you want to get better, here's how you might do that. So because it's a fire sign, it has that like initiating energy and that creative energy as well, right? So Sag people are super creative. They can make something out of nothing better than most, right? Because they also are the kind of people who been everywhere and done everything, right? They've got that kind of energy. If you want to have a party that is full of life and beautiful energy, invite your Sag friend. And as long as they are in alignment with their energy, they will be the life of your party. They will talk to everybody. They will move around the room. They will mingle. They will get people drinks and bring people, food. And like they are the ultimate, like, people. They're the ultimate people. Marguerite says she's a Sag. Love it. Tina, I just see your message, your comment. I'm cracking up right now. Tina says, we've all heard that before. I will not be on much longer. I love it. I'm glad you know me so well, darling. Let's see. What books would you recommend for beginners of astrology? Ooh, let me think on that one, Miss Deidre, because so much garbage. There's so much garbage out there. Yeah, let me think on that because there are a lot of books out there that I think focus on horoscopic type astrology. And what I mean by that is they want to tell you what your future is based on your sign and based on, right? So let me think about it. I have a couple. I need to grab them out of my PPP container and give you the names of them. They will also be the ones that I use for the class that I have coming up. They'll be the sort of textbook that I recommend everybody have. Um, and then I'll be giving y'all some PDFs and workbooks and things, a little workbook like that you can work through. PPPers, y'all know I like a good worksheet. And then I give lots of cheat sheets and things in the classes that I do. So, but I will think on that for you, Miss Deidre. Um, yeah, Mary Kay Greer's book is really for tarot. Did I just jump? Oh, I did. I'm gonna have to come back and do that. But she does have some astrological associations in there that help with, especially when you're looking at astrology through the lens of tarot. Absolutely. Yeah. Mary Kay Greer. Teacher says I need the one for dummies. Yeah. I told Damon a few months ago, I was like, I should write an astrology book for beginners. So, okay. Where were we? Sag. All right, let's switch to, I need some water. I don't know if Damon is on here. Damon, are you on here, babe? I don't think he is. I know he came home, but I don't know. I'm not sure if he's here listening. Maybe he is. Angelisa, thank you. So, oh, I think I want to keep going here. That's weird. But I'm gonna do it. If you're looking too closely at my um at my stitches, you deserve to see something that's not quite right. That's my feeling about it. It's hand stitched, people. It's supposed to be kind of weird and wonky. I think. I feel. All right. So next we have the best sign ever. The best of the best. The best of the best. Capricorn. All right. I know some of y'all are like, she's only saying that because she's a Capricorn. Yep. That's the only reason I'm saying that. They're all the best because we are all of them. I have all these signs in me, just like you do. All these archetypal energies floating about, roaming about. But Capricorn, it has a special place for me because I'm a double cap. And I have what is called a stellium in Capricorn. That's a conversation for another day. But Capricorn, here we are at the start of another season. Capricorn begins our winter. It is a cardinal sign. It's Earth. And all cardinal signs are those initiating energies, those get things going, get things started, spark energies. Right? And if you are just meeting me for the first time, hello, my name is Kiala. I can start things beautifully. I often have trouble finishing. That is the cardinal energy. That doesn't mean I cannot finish. It just means I really have to work at. I have to do things like have a 100-day project where I'm completing projects. Right? That is the quintessential way to get some stuff done, is to give yourself another project around getting things done. So Capricorn, Kyla. All right, so earth energy. It is that grounded energy, the energy of stability, foundation, earthly concerns and matters. It is about, a lot of people like to say, sorry, I didn't say we're the goat. It's the goat. Now, more specifically though, we're like a mergoat. We're like the sea goat, the goat that is also in the water. We're like little mergoats. That's a term that one of my past teachers, Miss Ruth, would use when she talked about Capricorn energy. She was like, Kyla, you're a double mergoat. And so I like that. Some people refer to it as a sea goat, but I like the idea of like mermaid and goat together. You know, that brings me joy. But we are Capricorn energy, and wherever you have Cap in your chart is where that sense of responsibility, duty, loyalty, responsibility, obligation, a lot of that shows up. It's your achievement energy. It is the thing that asks you to set goals and strive towards achieving them. It is, I had one of my astrology teachers said, every Capricorn she has ever met was grown by the time they were 4. They're like the grown-ups in the bunch. That we are like the responsible energy in the chart. We're the ones that people call when they need somebody that they know is going to show up for them, right? That's that Capricorn. If you have a person in your life who is a Capricorn, has heavy Capricorn energy, and they let you know that they are your friend, the worst thing you can do is betray them. Betrayal is a hard pill to swallow for a Capricorn. We don't really know what to do with that and how to come back from that. There's really nothing on the other side of betrayal for a Capricorn. Just like, dead to me. You're dead to me. It's that kind of energy. We have a strong sense of duty, right? Like, I'm supposed to do that. That's my duty. That's my job. We have a strong sense of that. We might not be at first, especially if we are Cap rising, might not at first seem like we want to even be your friend. We're kind of, these glasses, we're kind of, like, if I am your friend, it's a big freaking deal. But also it's because I'm not really, I don't know. Friendship can be a lot of work, right? Every Capricorns kind of look at everything as like, how much effort does this mountain, does it require me to climb this mountain, right? We're goats. We see everything as a mountain. We see everything as something that is meant to be climbed, right? A thing that we need to achieve, a goal, right? And that's not necessarily always the best way to move through the world. But when we're in alignment, we have a strong sense of duty and responsibility and loyalty and dedication. And we are not afraid of hard work. We're not afraid of hard work, but we do assess things by the amount of work we think it's going to require of us. And so if you've ever been in a relationship or had a Capricorn in your life and the being your friend becomes hard, that person might just be like, I'm out. See you when I see you. I tried, but it's just too much. Can't scale this mountain, so I'm out. If you don't want to be in a relationship with a Capricorn, play hard to get. They will get the message and move on and not look back, right? Very success oriented. Success is a really important sort of concept, but defining success for ourselves is important for Caps. And so wherever you have Capricorn in your chart, it likely can point you to places where you care about being successful. And it doesn't always have to be about business. All right. If you've got Capricorn, say in the 6th house, maybe you measure success by how healthy you are. Right? Because 6th house is the house of health and nutrition and daily habits. And right, you might be someone who spends a lot of time tracking your daily life, tracking your habits, because that's how you measure success. Let's see. Angelisa says, thank you. Love it, love it. I hope to see y'all there. Angelisa says, my sister-in-law is a Capricorn and she used to get on my every nerve. But I have grown to appreciate and love what I now know is her Capricorn ways. I love that. Angelisa says, I have, Kylie, you've spoken of being a double Capricorn. What does that mean? Yeah, so a double Capricorn, when I say that, it's because I am, my sun sign and my moon sign are both Capricorn. And so those are two heavy hitter placements in your chart. And so I always make reference to being a double Capricorn because it is, yeah, so it kind of speaks to who I am, right? So how I feel is what you see, pretty much, right? Because my sun sign is like how I shine my light out into the world. My moon sign is how I feel. So how I feel is pretty much what people see. I'm not really good at hiding my feelings about things, about people, about situations, about, right? Like, so, yeah. People who have the same sun sign and rising sign, I always say with them, what you see is what you get. With people who have the same sun and moon sign, I always say how they feel is what you see. And that's what you get. Right. So yes, that's what when I say I'm a double Capricorn in the primal triad, the sun, moon, and rising sign, that makes up your primal triad, the three sort of important points in your chart. All the points are important, but the three that kind of make up your primal energy, who you are at your core. And so when people have double energy there, it just means that I hate to use the words it means, but it can mean that energy is a little more intense in that person. So being double Capricorn means I have everything I'm describing here. I've kind of got it amplified. Right. So if I were going to write it, I would say, I would put a little 2 at the top like that, right? So think about when we do that, when we go like 9 to the 2nd degree or 3, right? We're basically saying that thing is even more, right? So that's kind of how I would write double Capricorn is like, it's a more intense Capricorn energy. Tina says, and thank you for asking for clarification, Angelisa. Just so you know, I appreciate when people ask for clarification if it's something I've said that isn't clear. So thank you for asking for clarification. Tina says, I do not give a darn what you say, Kylie Givehand. I am like a barnacle. You are stuck with me. And all the work it takes to love me. Deal with it. All right, Virgo. That's such a Virgo thing to say. I love it though. And I ain't going nowhere unless, my Capricorn sensibilities tell me otherwise. But here's the thing about Caps too. We're gonna let you know when we're leaving. You're gonna know when we leave the room. We're not gonna leave quietly. We're not gonna just sneak out. Don't worry. You'll know. Um, so and I think I forgot what I was saying there. Hold on. Back it up. Capricorn, loyalty, duty, responsibility. So wherever we have Cap in our charts, right? Because everything I'm describing, we all have these energies in our charts, right? I've said that 1,000 times. You're probably sick of me saying it. But I have to keep reiterating that because sometimes people go, oh yeah, those Capricorns, can't stand them. They're so stubborn. All they care about is work, work, work all the time. Well, guess what? You have Capricorn in you too. So there's some part of you that also really appreciates the climb, really appreciates having goals, setting goals, achieving things, right? So when that Capricorn energy is in shadow, here's some of the things that happens. Number one, we forget to celebrate our achievements. I do that all the time. Where I forget to go, oh my gosh, look at this thing that I did. That's kind of a big deal. Something I've been really wanting to do for a long time, blah, blah, blah. Right? We don't spend enough time celebrating because we're on to the next mountain. What's the next project? What's the next thing? What's the next mountain to climb? Right? And we forget to celebrate. And so if you have Capricorns in your life, remind them to celebrate all the things, the big wins, the little wins. Oh man, come on with this knot. All the things, because they may not be aware that they're not even taking time to celebrate, right? They may not even be aware of how much they have to celebrate that they're not celebrating, right? So I feel really blessed to have some people in this lifetime, who have no problem reminding me to celebrate. Celebrate my big wins and my small wins, but to celebrate, because Capricorn likes to just move on to the next thing. We're good at that. People off the bad rap that Capricorn gets, stubborn, which it ain't wrong. We are stubborn, and so is everybody else. Wherever you have Capricorn, that's your stubborn positioning, right? You're likely my way or the highway around those areas of life that Capricorn is really impacting in your chart, right? Now, this is the point in the conversation where I have to say, this is the point. Come on. This is the point in the conversation where I have to say, we have free will. Everything I'm talking about and everything we get to look at in our charts shows us our imprinting, what was imprinted on us. But we also are humans that have free will. We can, oh man, I'm going to put some down there. We can absolutely 1000% choose differently. Like just because I am double Capricorn, and yes, maybe that means I'm really stubborn and very high achieving and always striving and forgetting to celebrate. Once I become aware of these energies, once I become aware of this as a potential way that I move through the world, I can change. You hear that part? I can change. I can totally decide, yes. And this is what happened to me. I started learning astrology. I started studying it as a serious student of it. And I realized that everything I was reading talked about Capricorns being stubborn, Capricorns being goal oriented. I even read a book that was like, Capricorns only care about making money. And I was like, wow, how interesting is this? Right. And I started looking at some of the things that people had written about. That's why when you ask me about books, I'm like super cautious, because sometimes I feel like some books are just written in such a negative tone. It makes people fearful of their own astrology, and that ain't cool to me. And yes, I know that's not good grammar, but that's how emphatic I am about it. I don't like that. Um, all right, I'm going to start this one. May or may not finish it while I'm here, because we're almost at the end of our wheel here, because Capricorn sits as the 10th sign, and we only have 2 more to go. So a couple more things I'll say about Capricorn is, so yes, here's what I learned, right? Like all this negative stuff about Capricorns being so stubborn and so set in their ways, and so, all this sort of negative information that's out there about Capricorn. Get the glasses. And I went, okay, I see all of that. But what I also know to be true is that astrology is it's the language of relationships. Me in relationship to myself, me in relationship to the world around me, me in relationship to the universe, really, right? To the divine. And so I was like, well, I don't want to just always be seen as somebody who's stubborn. I can change that. I can decide when being stubborn is to my benefit and when it is to my detriment. Because sometimes you need to be stubborn. Sometimes you need to say, no, I'm sorry. This is what I purchased. This is what I expect. No, I'm sorry. This is what you told me was you were going to do. This is what I need you to do, right? Like sometimes you do have to be stubborn. Sometimes you have to say, nope, I'm going to have to push back on that. This is actually what I'm really needing and wanting right now. And this is what I feel I deserve. This is what right? Whatever it is, whatever wording you want to use, right? But sometimes being stubborn, you need that, right? Sometimes being stubborn gets you exactly what you want and what you need. And so that energy has a place. We need that. The goal, I think, in learning your astrology is to become more aware, so that so for me, I'm going to speak for myself, when I'm being stubborn, I can pause and go, okay, is this a moment to compromise, or do I hold my ground? Do I stay sure-footed as a goat on the side of a mountain, or do I give myself permission to compromise? And that has served me well. That has served me well. And that's the free will part, right? So any of these signs, when we're in that shadow energy of it, or when we're in the energy of what others might see as like the negative, we always have a choice. We always have a choice. I don't care what anybody says. We always have a choice. You might not like your choices. You might not like the choices that you have, but there's always a choice, right? And so I can decide if I'm going to let the stubborn side of the Capricorn energy govern me, or if I am going to be in control of how I show up in relationship to others and to myself and to the divine, all the things, right? All right. So I don't know this for other signs, so I'm almost hesitant to say it, but I know it for Capricorn because I'm a Capricorn and I have studied myself and my Capricornness extensively. So I can't name this for other signs, but, oh, I can name a few for Leo, but I didn't. Some people who are like out in the public eye who are Capricorns. Wait, is that where I meant to go? Ooh, that was a big cross. Well, I'm there now. Just keep going. Elvis Presley, I know, was a Capricorn. Martin Luther King Jr. was a Capricorn. Michelle Obama is a Capricorn. Edgar Allan Poe, the poet and writer, was a Capricorn. Sometimes I think it's helpful to look at some people who are like out in the world in the public eye. To go, oh, okay, I see how that energy is playing out. But also, I think it doesn't. Also, I think it doesn't always bode true and well because we don't know what their other placements are. Like, I don't know what Michelle Obama's rising sign. I mean, I could probably go look it up because it's probably out there in the world somewhere. But anyway, I always like to say that because I know for some people that's helpful. Like, oh, okay, I see all of that you just said. And sometimes you might be like, oh, I don't see how that person was like any of that you just said. But anyway, I thought I would just drop that. Like I said, I don't know it for other signs because I don't have it like, yeah, it's just not something I've committed to memory. I just happen to know the ones for Capricorn. All right, let's move on to the 11th sign in the zodiacal wheel, and that is Aquarius. Aquarius is our future thinking, sort of kooky energy in the chart. And hear me out before you get in, your panties in a ruffle. When I say kooky, I mean it in the best of ways. It's our quirky energy, and we all have it. It's where we are our weirdest, our quirkiest, our most like sort of what's the word I want to use? Sort of free self, right? It is the mascot is the water bearer. It's an air sign though. All right, so don't let that confuse you because it did to me for the longest. I was like, Aquarius, isn't it? Is a water sign. Nope, it is an air sign. But the mascot is the water bearer. It's a fixed sign. So it can think about it, it's an air element with fixed energy. So the way it thinks, its mindset can get really fixed. Because air is all about that mental energy, the intellect, the mind, our mindset, all of those things, right? And so having that energy be fixed can be really tricky. It's ruled by Uranus. And Uranus is the planet of rebellion. I'm going to do things differently. And if that's not Aquarius at its core, but here it is. It's not just doing it differently to do it differently. Aquarius energy, these are like our future seers. Like they can see into the future in a way, right? They have a connection to the divine that allows them to kind of forecast into the future, kind of see into the future and try to bring it back to us here. So here's what I mean by that. I'm going to give you some examples of what I mean by that. So one example is people who have strong Aquarius placements might be the kind of people who can forecast a trend. They can go, oh, I already see this is going to be big. This is going to be big. This is going to be a thing that everybody's doing and everybody's wearing this. This color is going to be the trending color. Like they can forecast trends. They can they can peer into the future and bring it back. they can, they kind of have an uncanny, and not, I say they, we, because we all have this energy in us, right? So depending on where that where Aquarius is sitting in your chart, will also give you some information about what time is it, y'all? Oh, I gotta, okay, we've been on for a minute. All right, let me move faster through Aquarius. So Aquarius energy can also be that kind of energy that just thinks of things in terms of that mental, sort of like big concepts. Like they can deal with the big concepts in life. Um, and they can really put like a little future spin on it too. They are very much concerned about humanity. Now I'm married to a Aquarius rising, and the way that energy shows up in Damon is he has this deep concern about humanity on the level as it shows up in um like primarily like in the body, right? It's in his first house. So all of the like material things, the body, that's why he is a yoga instructor. He knows that the future of the quality of your health depends on your ability to operate your vehicle, as he likes to say, right? Um, and he's always thinking about that. He's always looking at like, what do I need to do right now that can help people have a better quality of life as they move into their future, right? So that's one of the sort of practical ways that Aquarius energy, when I say it's like a future thinking, it concerns itself with the future, the big concepts of our future also, right? It cares about humanity. It really does. Now, here's what happens with Aquarius. Ouch! It can, I'm trying to do something I should not be doing here. I should just let this thread, I should stop this. It's done. I'm done. It's at the end. It's at the end. Um, let's say I'm gonna use sort of a very woo-woo way to describe this. But y'all didn't just meet me. You know I'm woo-woo. And I don't use that term in a negative way. That term is a very, if I call you woo-woo, that's a compliment, by the way. I know that's not how everybody sees it, but that's how I see it. That is some wackadoodle stitching happening there, but I love it. So the way that can show up, the sort of the shadowy way that Aquarius can show up, is having that sort of insight about the future, but not knowing how to communicate it with those of us here firmly planted in the present. So what happens is a lot of our Aquarian people end up being called conspiracy theorists, or now I'm not saying every conspiracy theorist is an Aquarius. That's not the same. I'm saying sometimes our Aquarius folks who have a heavy Aquarius placements can they don't quite know how to articulate what they are seeing in this like future, possible future, right? They don't always know how to articulate it in a way that people understand it. And so sometimes they come out sounding like they are the kooks, right? Like they're kooky and weird. Think about Doc Brown. He's my favorite sort of, I think about him. Was that his name? I always say that. And then I'm like, wait, is that his name? The character from Back to the Future who was like, getting Marty to where he needed to be in the future and helping him navigate the whole thing. And he had the DeLorean, the car. He had, done the whole thing, right? He is quintessential what I think of when I think about Aquarius. Okay. the sort of like, he knows that he can do time travel. He knows there's something in the future that other people don't get and don't understand, but he also can't explain it to anybody. Defibrillator, blah, 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 right? Like, I don't even know the words he uses in the movie, but you get my point. Like, if you go look at that character, he's got the white hair, he's got the Einstein whole thing, whole look. And he just looks like he's crazy. And if you listen to him talk, you're like, this guy is off his rocker. What is happening? Right? That energy, right? They have this uncanny ability to kind of peer into the future, but it gets really, it can feel odd to the rest of us because we're like, but you're not making any sense. I don't understand you, right? So not being able to explain things in a way, right? And they get really excited because there's like, listen, I have the answers. I know what we need to do. And everybody else is like, we don't know what you're talking about. None of this makes sense. So they can often end up feeling like very outcasted, like they don't belong, like they can't find people who get them and understand them. And because they spend a lot of time being concerned about humanity and the state of things for the world and people, that can get exhausting when nobody is listening and understanding and paying attention or taking you seriously, right? That can get exhausting. And so then they can sort of retreat into themselves. They can become recluse or recluse. Is that the word I'm looking for, y'all? Yeah. They can like isolate themselves just so they don't have to deal with the sort of label of kook or weird, right? What else do I want to say about Aquarius? So wherever we have that Aquarian energy is also where we have an opportunity to be our quirkiest, weirdest, most free, liberated selves. And if we can make that thing, that energy, serve humanity at the same time, Aquarius will be very happy. Aquarius energy will smile because it does care about humanity. All right. How y'all doing out there? Who's still with me? Who's still hanging out with me? Let me look at the chat. Tina, every time I look up, you have dropped something in the chat that makes me laugh. And I love that. Thank you for keeping the humor going in here. Come on. Got it. Okay. Let me stop for a moment. Dude says, I feel like I need a simplified glossary for birth charts astrology. I have no clue what you mean when you say ascending, descending, which houses, etc. Yeah, that part. I know that I'm using language that probably is not familiar to those of you who are new to this work. But I got you. I'm coming with something for you. Don't worry. I got you. Just take it all in now, and you can come back and go, oh, that's what she was talking about. But I can say here, because it's easy to describe, when I say ascendant, I'm talking about your rising sign. Your rising sign is what was coming up over the horizon when you were born. As that wheel was turning, what was coming up over the horizon? That's why we have to have your birth time. That helps us know what was coming up over the horizon when you were born. So that's your rising sign, also called your ascendant. Your descendant would be on the opposite side. It's what was descending in the sky when you were born. Let's see. Yeah, thank you, Tina, for that. Bye, Debbie. Thanks for being here. Adia says, my husband is an Aquarius, as is my little sister. Yeah, my sister is an Aquarius. Actually, my sister and my brother are both Aquarius. I was born into a family full of air signs. My mama, Gemini. My sister and my brother, Aquarius. My daddy, Libra. And then here comes this little earth baby, and they don't know what to do with me. And I also was like, I was born into the middle of a tornado with all this air. What is all this air with these airy people? So yeah, that part. What else am I seeing here? Ah, nice. Stephanie says, I've forgotten most of what I knew about astrology, but you've inspired me to pick it up again. Yay. Yeah, just be careful. I will say this to anyone. Be careful about mainstream astrology. That's all I got to say. It's a whole thing. And you got to, like, you probably could go to TikTok right now. In fact, I have family members who are like, yeah, this lady on TikTok was telling me about the solar eclipse and my something with the blah blah blah, and I was like, oh God bless it. What is happening? So yeah, just be mindful. Be mindful. Always check your source. Always check the source. Okay, what else I got here? Okay, let's go ahead to the next one. Oh, Aquarius. Last thing I wanted to say about Aquarius. Don't be upset with the Aquarian people who have a heavy Aquarius in your life if they don't seem like they have a lot of feeling about things. They process their feelings through their mental, right? They have to see what they feel. They have to see how they think about what they feel first before they can actually fully feel it, if that makes sense. Like they kind of have to, feelings are a concept for them. So they have to conceptualize it before they can actually let themselves feel it. That's that air. That is that's that fixed air. And don't be upset if they're slow to process their feelings or slow to change their mind about something. Right? Don't be upset if they need to do a little research to decide how they feel. Right? They're very mental. It's a very mental energy. In fact, we all have Aquarius, so wherever we have it, we are also likely slow to feel in those moments. We need to conceptualize it first, and then we can feel it fully. Right? So, all right, let's move on to the 12th sign. We're at the 12th sign. We made it all the way around the wheel. Pisces. All right, Pisces is our big intuitive energy. Now, we got a lot of intuitive energies in the chart. Ooh. We have a lot of intuitive energies in the chart, but Pisces is one of the ones that is like the intuitive energy in the chart. It's the two fish. The little fishes are the mascot, and those little fishes in the sign for Pisces are going in different directions, but they are tethered by one thing. So we'll talk a little bit about that in a moment here. It's a water sign. Also why I'm talking about it as an intuitive energy. It's a water sign. It's ruled by Neptune, and it's a mutable water sign. So we've already got this like flowy water, and then we bring in the fact that it also is mutable. Okay, glasses. Meaning it doesn't mind changing. It will change. It absolutely will change. And in fact, it welcomes and embraces change. In fact, out of all the mutable signs, Pisces is probably the one that changes the most and the easiest. And because of that, it can often, where we have Pisces or the Pisces people in our lives, it can often feel like they don't know which way they want to go. They don't have, they just like, what are you doing? You're so wishy-washy. Goodness gracious, right? You can kind of have that kind of energy when it comes to Pisces, because those two fish want to go in different directions, right? And it's mutable. So it's like, yeah, we can change. We don't have to stay the same. We can switch it up. That's all good. Let's do it. Let's do something different. I'm fine with that, right? Like it can be that kind of thing. Or you might have a Pisces in your life who is always doing something different all the time. You're just like, my goodness, for goodness gracious, pick something. Going back to the comment I made about, I said one of my teachers, one of my astrology teachers, said to me once about Capricorns being grown at the age of 4 or 5. She said this something similar about Pisces, but she said Pisces are the kind of energy that you can be both 4 and 40 at the same time. You can be 6 and 60 at the same time. It's like it's that kind of energy, because it is like it's going back in the past and it's going in the future. Like it's got this energy going in different directions, right? Not always firmly planted in the here and now, right? Lots of it's the most woo-woo of the signs, I would say, also. And I mean woo-woo in a really good way. If you have somebody who has heavy Pisces in your life, I guarantee you at one point they've said to you, I don't know, did I dream that or did that really happen? I can't remember. I'm not sure. Did that happen or did I dream that? Let me try to remember. And often, those, because we all have Pisces in us, we probably have said that a time or two in the areas of life, around the areas of life where Pisces sits in our chart, right? We've probably been like, I don't know, did I dream that or did that actually happen? So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that. And that's because they are kind of existing, I don't want to say on multiple planes at once, but kind of like that. They're kind of, there are hopeless romantics also. Like they are the ones who are like, everything is lovely and amazing, and they romanticize all the things. And those of you that don't have it as your sun sign or your moon or your rising, look at what house it's in for you, because that's probably where you spend a lot of time romanticizing in your life, right? Like making everything like so important and so right. You probably also see everything is a sign when it comes to those areas of your life. And I talked about Libra kind of being like illusion, living in the illusion and lots of fantasy type thinking. Pisces has Libra beat on that level, okay? Because it's in the 12th house, y'all. And the 12th house is the house of the hidden. It's the house of the hidden, things that are hidden. So it deals with things like our literal dreams, like your actual dreams. And so that dreamy world, that dreamlike world, can be, come on, little thread. That dreamlike world, yeah, there we go, can really be a thing for them, right? And also, listen, don't make me explain it. I don't even know why, but that Piscean energy can also be an energy that feels like it lacks boundaries. It's water. It wants to go everywhere. Right? Have you ever spilled a glass of water on your desk? It goes all over the keyboard, and 2 days later, you're still finding wet spots on the table and on the floor. It just goes everywhere. It just goes everywhere. And so Pisces, let's try to put it the right way. Why don't you? Let's see if I can get one more little row of stitches here to round us out. And so Pisces has this beautiful way of like helping us experience the past, the present, and the future all at once. And you don't have to do any sort of inducing of that. Get quiet. Tap into your Pisces energy. Get quiet. Meditate. And things that have previously felt inaccessible to you or hidden or unknown. Pisces energy is like, I got you. Let's unhide it. Let's go to the depths and find it, and let's bring it up to the surface. That is your Pisces energy. That is your Pisces energy. It's like, let's go do all the things that are the hidden things. So Pisces folks can feel kind of flighty and wishy-washy, but they're not, y'all. I promise they're not. Also, where we have Pisces in our chart is likely where we feel kind of flighty and can be kind of flighty and wishy-washy. But it's not because we're not aware. It's because we are experiencing things in multiplicity, you know. All right, loves, that's the whole spin around. That's the whole spin around the old chart there. I think, the last thing I'll say about Pisces, it doesn't really like you to try to pigeonhole it or tell it to define itself. Like, you're not the boss of me. You don't tell me how to define myself, right? Like, Pisces has that kind of energy. But also Pisces won't be snarky with you in that way. It'll be like, okay, yeah, no, I think I'm just gonna do this over here because this is my jam. Right? So you have to kind of let things flow when it comes to Pisces, right? They don't like boxes. They don't like to be put in boxes. They don't want to have to figure out how to fit into your little boxes. They're not going to make boxes for themselves. They want that. They need that freedom and that expansiveness. They need that ability to dream. Pisces is where we get our dreaming energy. And so it's out of balance for us when we don't spend enough time daydreaming, night dreaming. When we don't spend enough time dreaming, we get out of alignment with it, right? It's a very internal energy that likes to internalize things. It likes to be with itself. Not, I wouldn't say self-absorbed, but definitely be with itself, you know. And it's the kind of energy that just wants to like, that's the best. I know that's not a word, but that's the best way I can describe it. Like, just like I want to be. Just allow me. Allow me to go this way and allow me to go that way. I'm tethered, right? The two fish have that little thing tethering them. I keep saying that and I'm like, okay. Right. That's the Pisces symbol. You got these two fish and the thing that's tethering them. So Pisces is like, don't worry, I'm not going to float off into nothingness. I have a tether. And so that tether for a Pisces is important. Sometimes that tether can be a person. It might be a place. It might be a thing, right? But they do all have something that tethers them. What happens when they're tethered, when something happens to their tether, it does feel like they could float away, right? Could totally feel like they might float away. But the truth is that Pisces when they're in shadow, when that energy's out of alignment, that's where we suffer the most, is where our Pisces is sitting. We spend a lot of time suffering there when we're out of alignment with our Pisces energy. So what was I going to say? There was one other thing. Pisces are the people in our lives, and where we have Pisces in our chart is likely where the lines between reality and idealism or fantasy lives. Like there's a thin little line separating those two. A lot of Pisces people will say things like, but perception is just, reality is just perception, right? What you perceive to be is real. Like they'll say things like that because for them, the lines, the veil is thin for a Pisces between what's real and what's unreal. The line is very blurry for them. They can move seamlessly between that real and unreal space, you know? All right, friends, that's what I got. That's all I'm going to say. I could probably say more, but I'm going to stop because I'm seeing the time and we're almost about to hit 3 hours and we're not going to do that. So I got 3 little stitchy bits here and I'm excited about them. They're lovely. They're going to be a part of my little something or other fabric. I don't know what I'm doing yet with these, but something. I'm doing something. I got me a good little stack of them going here. So I'm going to do something with them. And it won't be before the 30 days is up, but I will report back for sure. I do. And I'm going to talk a little bit on the last day about what I'm planning going forward. Now that I've kind of started this little live stream dialogue with you all, we'll see what happens as I continue to move into next month. But I have things to share on the last day, so I will. I want to say thank you all for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. For those that hung out with me. I'm super appreciative. I will see you in all the places and spaces that we share. I have things coming for you all before the end of this month. Stay tuned. I will be speaking on it, dropping links about it, all the things. You are welcome. Those of you that are thanking me in the chat, you're very welcome. And I look forward to doing this a little more succinctly and with some fun and on Zoom where we can see each other and hang out and spend some time together. So thank you all for your love and attention and energy. I don't take it lightly because you could be doing 1,000 other things with your time right now. And so I'm grateful that you were here spending it with me and all the other lovely folks in the chat. Love y'all. Thank you. I'll see you soon. Tomorrow. I think tomorrow I'm on at the same time, 2 p.m. Central. So I'll see you tomorrow at 2 if you can make it out. If not, I will see you in other places. Bye, y'all. Have a beautiful rest of your Saturday.